Hi, I'm Steve Garrison, the CEO and founder of Personal Warehouse. Here are the 8 reasons why owning a personal warehouse is better than leasing. The biggest reason that I believe in owning commercial real estate and a personal warehouse is building equity and having control over your space over the long term. Building equity and ownership, I think, are fundamental in investments and how you spend your time. If you own your home, why don't you own the space for your business or your personal use? It's been a long-term trend that real estate's been a great asset over time. It's a good hedge against inflation, and it's a great place to put your money if you haven't already. If you're a business owner, one of your biggest liabilities every month is your rent. And that rent doesn't create long-term wealth, tax favored investment, or anything for you and your business. So the ability to convert that into an asset that is controllable over time and builds equity for you is tremendously valuable to you and to your business. There's numerous tax benefits and advantages to owning your commercial property, some of which are your ability to write off your mortgage expense. Another is to depreciate the property, protecting basically income that you're bringing home every month rather than paying it to the landlord. We've gone through a period of rapid inflation and price appreciation. By owning your asset, you're locking in your monthly costs, saving you time and money. A lot of people don't think about rent and how susceptible it is to inflationary costs. There's been less and less construction over the last few years, creating more and more demand on the supply. It's only natural that as there's more and more demand, those lease rates and those costs are going to go up over time. By owning your space, you're able to lock in that cost, saving you time, saving you money, and protecting your business from rapidly inflating rents. So the second main point is having ultimate control and flexibility over your space. When you lease a space, any improvements that you install are transferred essentially onto the landlord, creating no additional value for you over the long term. I work with a lot of creative people, and they'd like to do creative murals or certain types of architectural improvements inside, which the landlord may or may not approve, but are critical or inspirational to you and your creative business. Having that overall ability to control what you do within the space without having to seek approval from others can be very valuable and better for your business over the longer term. Another critical element is future-proofing your space and controlling your space over the long term. A lot of investors have seen incredible appreciation in their assets. Maybe they're getting older and they're looking to divest or sell to an investor. There's no guarantee that when your lease expires, that new owner is going to extend and retain you as a tenant within that space. A lot of people that believe that they'll stay and pay forever, and that's not necessarily the case. When you own your space, you control that future. You dictate how and when you come and go from the space and when you're ready to move on to another one. Owning a space almost invariably is less money on a monthly basis than renting. And how is that? Well, first of all, the cost of capital for you to go out and borrow the money from a bank is typically less than what a landlord is going to require from you on a return on investment for them. So that spread or that differential between your bank cost or the cost of your cash versus what a landlord is willing to charge you is net savings to you over the long term. So a great example is one of our most common units. It's a 1,000 square foot warehouse with a 300 square foot mezzanine, fully finished, restroom, mezzanine, HVAC, finished floor. You would buy that unit for approximately $380,000. Most commercial bank loans would require that you put down about 20%. So that's approximately $76,000. And you could finance that remaining loan on a 25-year term, 300 months, around 7.5%. That equates to about $2,250 a month on a monthly payment. That same space, if I was to lease that to you, I would lease it between $24 and $25 a square foot, but that rate is inclusive of the mezzanine space. So that equates to about $2,600 to $2,700 a month. So there's approximately $4,000 a year of potential savings that you can keep in your pocket by owning that space. Another thing that people don't think about is the compounding of that. The rental rate over the term of a lease, and an average lease term on a personal warehouse is about 3 years. Over a 3-year period, your lease rate is going to go up. Almost every lease has a price escalator of approximately 3 to 5% per year. Over that term, your rents are going to go up consistently each year. compared to your ownership where you have a fixed cost and it's locked in. So over that 3-year period, the differential between owning and leasing your space, by owning, you're saving approximately 16% versus leasing. Another thing to consider is the price appreciation on the unit. So in an average market, now not all markets are the same, but an average market, it's been customary to see 6% annual price appreciation. So at the end of that 3-year term, that same unit that you paid $380,000 would be worth about $450,000, about $72,000 of additional price appreciation versus all of the rent that you paid over that 3-year term. So I think you can see how it's extremely beneficial to own that space, pay for that space, and keep that money versus paying a landlord rent. The fourth point is asset value and business growth. I meet with a lot of business owners, and making that initial step and commitment into buying a space or even leasing a space and moving their business out of their home is a big one. But really, it's a validation that you are in business to do business and your commitment to being successful. I can tell you that I've talked with a lot of people that having a space that is well suited to serve their business and meet their needs has helped them grow and become much, much more successful. So it's not just about an investment or an expense. It's about creating an environment that your business can thrive and that your clients see a quality place and a location for you to come and go on a daily basis. Point number 5 is asset value and business growth. A lot of people that have service-based businesses, when they go to sell or they go to do anything with the company, it doesn't own anything. It doesn't have anything, right? So their balance sheet is very weak. And so they start looking to them personally versus if the business owns real estate, if it owns hard assets, it makes the business look stronger and more valuable. Our 6th point is independence and freedom. So what do I mean by that? Well, having the ability to do what you need to do that's best interest for yourself and your business is critically important. Having a landlord that can tell you what to do and when to do it could be very restrictive. We live in a time where a lot of businesses are non-traditional. They have higher power needs. You work at off-traditional days of the week and times. Maybe you're geographically located in multiple locations. These are things that could be inhibitors with some landlords in terms of how you ultimately use and maximize your space. Point number 7 is strategic advantages. There's a lot of strategic advantages to owning your own space. First of all is the ability and the creativity to have the space that you need and to build it out to serve the needs of your business or your passions most effectively. Another one is the ability to create a financing model that keeps it affordable and makes it a space that you can own over the longer term. A lot of people initially purchase a unit and it serves their business very well, but down the road they grow out of it or they'd like to move on, and it's a wonderful investment opportunity for them going forward. A common thing that we see at Personal Warehouse is where a business owner will buy and work out of one unit and purchase a second and lease it out. That allows them to control their expansion. They can have a tenant in there. They're creating revenue, reducing their debt or their cost expense on their unit. They're turning that lease income into operating income. The 8th point is investing for the future. Owning real estate is an excellent investment, in my opinion, and it's one to allow you to plan for the future and create generational wealth. You're not going to get rich and retire off of one personal warehouse, but if you owned enough of them, it could be a tremendous investment. They're long-term, active, passive incomes that can be generated out of personal warehouse. They can increase and generate additional value for a business that you have, or create that space for your family long-term to support your passions and your hobbies and be a passionate enthusiast in a community of others. A lot of our customers are business owners, and when they are thinking about exiting the business, owning their location is a really important and critical element that they can sell that company and retain the real estate, the personal warehouse, leasing it back to the business. A lot of different points there. It stabilizes the sale, creates additional passive income, and they know where that business is. They know that that business is going to stay and thrive in a key location and really creates a win-win between the new buyer and the seller becoming the landlord. I think ownership is essential for all Americans. People want to invest and own their own property, whether it's their home or their car or their commercial space. So having that ownership, the ability to have the space that you need, do what you want to do within it, and create that long-term value is a great thing for you versus landlords. They would love for you to stay and pay rent forever, creating the wealth for them. Important next steps, once you have considered this, is to call a broker or to contact us directly and learn what ownership can look like for you. Find out the affordability. We can help you run the numbers and do cost benefit calculations between owning and leasing. So don't delay. I would get active today. It's a lot of demand and things are moving quickly, so don't expect for there to be abundant availability always. So we look forward to hearing from you and hope that we can make a home for you at Personal Warehouse. Be sure to check out our website. We have a great website, a lot of videos and photography of lots of different projects to help you understand what a personal warehouse looks like. So that's at personalwarehouse.com, or you can call our office and we would love to speak with you personally.